Hey, good evening, and welcome to week 3 of the Fantasy League recap. I want to start off with a quick happy birthday to Ian. Happy 28th. I love you, and I hope you had a great day. So now that we've done that, I've been nice to Ian. Now I can get to my normal smack talk, okay? So speaking of the normal smack talk, before I get going, I do want to say this is going to be another two-parter. Second part is a special addition to the weekly recap. The weekly recap is usually just on the league. As we know, we did a draft before the season. That's what we're going off of. And then going into week 3, we actually did a recap, or a redraft, I should say, of the first 2 rounds. So be on the lookout for that, okay? Thank you for everyone for participating in the redraft of the first 2 rounds. And here we go. So week 3 recap. We're going to go through the matchups like we always do. It was myself versus Ian. Ian posted a video so the story behind that video multiple years back. Ian said, I'm going to do this walk-up song. And I forget which year it was, but it was a few years back. And his walk-up song was, I don't even remember. So Landon and Dylan and myself came up with I'm a Loser. So yeah, thanks for playing that song, Ian, because you were the loser. Thank you. I beat him 263.55 to 214.80. Going into Saturday, because Ian started off on Thursday, I believe it was, and going into Saturday, we're at Mia's cheer competition, and he's talking smack to me, and Landon was backing him up. Well, I talked smack back and said, whatever, I'm going to win. And I came back and whooped his ass. 263.55 to 214.80. Then the big bald beaver, Mark, got his first win. Congratulations, Mark. You beat Devin 197.7 to 181.7. Okay, so Mark with his first win. Congratulations, Mark. Dylan McDonald with the whoop ass on Dylan Shimp. 324.15 to 249.75. Dylan McDonald with his first win. Great job. The 2 guys that were without a win came out with a win. Nate, again, started off 0-1. He is now 2-1 at 183.3 over Sean, 135.45. So that was Nate with his second win. Battle of the 2-0s. This one came down to Monday night. And I want to say, Jason, I respect the fact that you went 2 weeks with, now you've gone 2 weeks, and it's not even confirmed that Love's going to be back, but you went 2 weeks with Love on your bench. You can only roster 2 quarterbacks in our league in a super flex. It's to keep the quarterbacks a little bit, I guess, exciting, or if you will, on the waivers. Gives you someone to flex with, or someone to, to go week to week with. Thank you. And so Landon beat Jason 274.1 to 206.9. Landon with a 3-0 start. That was the battle of the 2-0s, but Landon came out on top with a 3-0 start. Powerhouse. Can he pull a back-to-back championship in this league? Don't know. Still early. Week 3, he did come out on top. Okay, so standings now. Division 1. Landon is on top at 3-0, 795 points. Then Nate with 617.5 points. And Dylan McDonald at 699.55 points. Followed by Sean in 4th place in that division with 541.35 points. And then the 5th place team, who is actually decent scoring. He's just facing some top scoring teams each week. At 669.95 is Dylan Shimp, 0-3 still. Division 2, first place is me. Go figure. Brian, 711 points, 0.6 at first place in Division 2. Then Ian at 679.30 in second place in Division 2. Jason is also at 2-1, so that 3 top teams in Division 2 are 2-1. The difference being none of us have faced each other, so it goes strictly off of points. And Jason at 661.35, followed by Devin at 1-2 at 650.5 points, 55 points, and 1-2 Mark in 5th place in Division 2 at 552.05. Let me break it down. Top 6 seeds again make the playoffs. So that's the top 6 seeds in the division make the playoffs. And that would be right now Landon at first place overall at 3-0. Myself at second place at 711.6 points. Then Ian in third at 679. Jason at 661 in fourth place. And then Nate, fifth place, 617.5. And then Devin, no, that's Dylan McDonald, 669 points. So again, it goes Landon, Brian, Ian, Jason, Nate, and Dylan McDonald. Still a lot of time left. We haven't done really many head-to-heads, so it's all by points or record. Okay, so that's on the standings part. Now we've got, let's go with the high-scoring team of the week, okay? That is Big Cock Brock at Dylan. That boy's whipped some butt, came out, got his first win, and with the most points. Lowest scoring team, the Adams family. Dun, 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 dun. Adams family. Probably wrong tune, wrong tone, who cares, but whatever. The Adams family, his record and his scoring is as bad as my singing. So that is Sean at the Adams family, lowest scoring team this week. Best performance, Saquon Barkley on Jason's team. Worst performer, who is in the starting lineup, was Mark Andrews in Dylan's lineup. Didn't matter because he still kicked ass. Largest margin of victory this week, Big Cock Brock over the Hurt Locker. I mean, he put the Hurt, the double D, 0 for 2 going into the league, or to the week. One came out 0-3 and one came out 1-2. But Big Cock Brock with a 74.4 point margin of victory. And then the smallest margin was 16 points. And so that one, you know, there's just keep going. Keep playing those waivers, okay? We've got some injuries this week that I want to discuss. We've got some key ones. We'll go through the quarterbacks and then the running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, okay? So Patrick Mahomes, knee. Justin Herbert, ankle. Sam Darnold, knee. Skylar Thompson, chest. No one's going to start Skylar. It actually looks like, Huntley from the Ravens practice squad was signed to the Dolphins 53-man roster. So there is a QB to maybe throw to Tyreek and Waddle because, the Seahawks weren't feared of the wide receiver because the quarterback could not throw. So they focused on the run and pretty much shut down Etienne. So the running backs with injuries are Ramon Stevenson and Najee Harris, okay? Neither one of them, none of those players that I've listed appear to be in jeopardy of losing playing time this week or sitting out. Here's where we start getting some wide receivers and stuff like that will probably be missing game week 4. Devontae Smith, concussion. Justin Jefferson, quad, he will probably play. Tank Dell, hand, wrist, he's probably playing. Adam Thielen, IR, even though the Panthers offense woke up with Andy freaking Redhead, Jimmy Neutron Dalton. Adam Thielen's on IR. Britton Love, Covey, IR. Darius Slayton didn't even realize he was still in the league, so who cares? Thumb, he's out. Trey McBride, concussion. Sam Laporta, ankle. Came back in the game. Seattle's a little weak against tight ends. That has just been a forever thing. So hopefully Laporta plays. Points-wise, Seattle plays Laporta and the Lions, so I'm hoping that he doesn't play. But fantasy reasons, I'm hoping he plays. So that conundrum. Tucker Kraft, shoulder, and Cole Kmet out, or injured also. Okay? I said last week I wanted to bring something new in, and here you go. top fantasy matchups this week in the NFL that I think will have the biggest impact on fantasy matchups. The Vikings and the Packers. If Jordan Love comes back, yes, the Vikings have their defenses look tough, but it's a divisional game, divisional matchup. You've got Jefferson, you've got Darnold, you've got that defense, you've got Addison maybe coming back. And then on the Packers side, you've got Jacobs, or you got also Aaron Jones. On the Viking side, then the Packers, you have Jordan Love if he returns. You've got the 3 receivers, actually only really 2. And then you've got maybe a tight end, but then Josh Jacobs also. Eagles and Bucks. I think this one could be high scoring, and I think this one could be one of the top fantasy producers. So again, Eagles and Bucks. You've got your 2 receivers, you got your running backs, you got your Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Barkley. If both of those receivers miss, look for another huge Dallas Goedert game. So Jason, do not take him out of your lineup if the 2 receivers are out. This one right here, Commanders and Cardinals. The Commanders put up some points the other night and beat the Bengals. Cardinals, they're putting up fantasy points. So that could be a nice one. But these 2 right here, the Bills and the Ravens, could be a high-scoring one, and it could be producing some serious fantasy points. Seahawks and Lions on Monday night. Detroit, I don't know if everybody has seen it, but go look for it. They will be debuting their black uniforms and blue helmets, clean as F. They looked smooth. Those uniforms look good. And then they're going to be playing the Seahawks, who are going to be in all white. But I think the Seahawks and Lions, or the Bills, Ravens, or Eagles, Bucks, one of those 3 will be your whatever you want to call it, fantasy output games, your high-scoring shootouts. I don't care what you want to call it. They will be the fun games to watch. There's actually some fun games to watch on this one. Okay, matchups this week. Brian and Sean, Nate and Mark, Jason and Dylan Schimpf, Landon and Devin, and Ian and Dylan McDonald. Let's see if Landon can go on to 4-0, and let's see if Dylan Schimpf can get his first win. Hopefully he does. But those are the matchups for the week. As a reminder, week 5, buys do start. Buys start in week 5. So plan accordingly. Maybe look at some players that are on waivers right now, that if you think maybe if a player gets injured, that they may have a shot and you don't have to fight for them in waivers next week. Try to pick them up early. If you got a player on bye, you're going to have to. But again, 2 quarterbacks can be rostered unless someone gets COVID, and then you can get their backup. But other than that, only 2 quarterbacks can be rostered. Okay? Bye weeks in 5. I will be going over next week which teams are on bye, and we'll go over that way. I really want to get the video out on Tuesday next week with that in mind. Okay? Everybody have a great one, and thank you very much. Remember, 2-part video. Go look for part 2.